Good morning, hello, or good afternoon or evening. It's time for the Golden Age at DC Comics 365 Days, where I take this beloved hardcover coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends. It has been surfing my coffee table ever since. And what goes great with a coffee table book at a coffee table? Well, pull up a chair and bring a cuppa. Let me wet my whistle. I'm going to get talking about comics. Ethiopian Guji. Good stuff. There's a button on my banner. If you can match the coffee mug to the button, you can reward yourself with some Adele's coffee. This is not a paid advertisement. This is my friend's coffee. I love good coffee. We talk about comic books, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year because I am using this 365 days book for its intended purpose. We're opening to today's date, which is September the 13th. We're going to look at some comic book art from an antediluvian age. We're going to read the blurb, and then we're going to talk about, you guessed it, comic books. Sweat socks? No, comic books. The Sweat Socks station is like the other, it's over down the dial. Yes, what does that even mean anymore? The Golden Age of DC Comics runs between 1938 and 1955. The Silver Age from 1956 until 1970. The the Bronze Age, I'm a Bronze Age baby myself, runs from 1970 to 1985. And the Copper Age begins in 1985, and I get these standards from the most current Overstreet comic book price guide. Great resource. I get it from the glossary. Apparently, we've been in a modern age of comics since the end of the Copper Age, which they claim is in 1993, which makes sense because of the birth of Image Comics and of also the DC Vertigo imprint. But I feel otherwise. I'm in for these conversations. I'm here for that. I also do something called the Escapism Caveat. You can find that at the end of the show now. I thought it deserved its own space, its own place to breathe and to air it out. It's about activism and escapism. I mean, we have activism, advocacy, an agenda, and messaging, and everything. It's like an active ingredient in everything. And woe to you if you dare disagree with any of their tenets or their methods, because we're also talking about escapism, the ability and the space to leave behind the world's problems just for a few moments. Can you balance them both? Can they be respected both? I mean, yeah, that's why I talk about it, and that's why I made that video. Tune in, please. I also suggest 2 other books as well for any new reader or anyone really interested in learning more about our beloved hobby, our beloved genre, our beloved, comic books. These are monthly floppies. I don't care. Where did floppy become a negative term? Fuck you. Sorry, but geez. My God, white fucking people, man. White people. I didn't say white people. Knock it off, internet. Be better. But yeah, these are floppies. These are monthly publications. They're also, collected into something called trade paperbacks, and graphic novels and hardcover editions. And but these are kind of like instructions, especially this book. It's Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud. There's a link. I put the link to both of these in the description, as well as as I got a link to this as well. Yeah, so all 3 books have links to their Amazon pages where you can pick them up on your own. I should throw the Overstreet link in there too. That's a great idea. Thank you, internet, keeping me on the ball. But also, How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. I had this when I was a kid. Great book, fun book, and it's very knowledgeable. I mean, I talked about perspective in the last issue, about how a Bob Kane panel in Batman looked kind of off. It's because of little simple things like this that our eyes pick up on. Seriously, I mean, a building just didn't look drawn correctly in relation to the other buildings, and it kind of threw off the entire panel, in my humble opinion. And it's because of I'm armed with, this vocabulary, and this is a great resource. I hope you take me up on this offer and pick up your own copies. But let's get to it. Let's use this book for its intended purpose. Let's crack open to today's date. It's September the 13th. I hope you are having a great day. I hope you are clobbering your problems and not being clobbered by them. Stand up to those problems, external and especially internal. Yes, adopt gratitude. Seriously. Oh gosh, it's so helpful. This is story by Gardner Fox, art by Don Lynch from Adventure Comics number 38, May of 1939. So long ago. Remember, these are print publications. If I got any younger viewers out there, print publications were the ancient internet, and that was about it. Yeah. So here is a black and white. This is Steve Malone, District Attorney. That was not a fail trumpet. I'm just being silly. Let's see. Let's read. The armored truck will pull up in front of us in a few minutes. Wait until the gods are on the sidewalk with the payroll, Mike. You take one, and I'll take the other, punk. Spunk, keep that motor running. And then they take their Tommy guns and they shoot down. Wow, look at the graphic violence. Huh? Ooh, wow, that is pretty violent, huh? And without warning, the gods are shot down. And, ellipses. That's all we're getting for Steve Malone, District Attorney, today. Gardner Fox, who was trained as a lawyer, never really practiced that craft after he discovered he could earn a living creating stories and scripts for comic books. One of the most prolific writers in the field, Gardner Fox, may have been ahead of his time with this violent account of an armored car robbery. In later years, DC would shy away from this kind of grim, semi-documentary approach, while other publishers made a fortune with their controversial crime comics. The same kind of controversial crime comics that led up to the end of the Golden Age in 1955, and with the adoption of the Comics Code Authority seal of approval in their many criteria of the depictions of violence. So, we talked about Steve Malone. And I looked this up because I thought there could have been some kind of overlap. There is none. Because Steve Malone does not appear to be related in any form to Carver or Matches Malone. Yes, the Malone brothers of organized crime in Gotham City. And Matches Malone came against the Batman one day, where Batman confronted this Matches Malone with his dark sunglasses and his very thick Jersey, North Jersey accent, and always with an unlit match between his teeth. Matches fled from the scene from his confrontation with the Batman, wherein he ran into the gunfire of another gang fight, and he died. Batman kept this under his cape. He discreetly interred Matches next to his brother Carver and kept Matches alive as Batman's very own secret identity, a disguise of which he wore to infiltrate and get information about the Gotham underworld, because everyone knew Matches Malone. He had a reputation. He earned it. He made his bones. He was in. He had skin in the game. And so Batman masquerades as Matches Malone in order to get information and to case a joint, to see where, to see what Penguin's up to at the Iceberg, cafe, or, stuff like that. And an interesting thing too, there was a later early 2000s great series called War Games, in which Tim Drake quits being Robin, and his girlfriend Stephanie Brown, aka the Spoiler, becomes the new Robin. And she was the second, female Robin in the story, and it was the first real girl Robin in continuity. Carrie Kelly in Batman The Dark Knight Returns is in 1986 and in some kind of alternate future. Batgirl Barbara Gordon was never a Robin. She was her own unique identity. And so Stephanie Brown became Robin, and she had this plan to impress Batman by gathering up all the crime lords and taking them down. And so she did this. She secretly arranged this big crime lord meeting that it was a sting operation, to bust them all. But there was one crucial person missing, and she admits it. Like, yeah, who's this Matches Malone? And Dick, Nightwing, Tim, even Jason, Red Hood, probably all drop their jaws. Like, Bruce didn't tell you yet? Oh no, that So, and because of that, the Black Mask is able to rise up, and there's a huge gang war because of it, and it's seemingly that this Robin gets killed by Black Mask, being another Robin that gets killed on duty because of Batman's mission, and adding to his pathos, I guess. But it was actually Dr. Leslie Tompkins who helped raise Bruce Wayne and Batman and knows his identity, and that covered it up and took Stephanie away to a safer space where she could heal after her horrific encounter with Black Mask. And he's like, I did this on purpose, Bruce. You shouldn't be endangering these children. So Stephanie went back to being Spoiler. Tim went back to being Robin. There have been a few crises in between, so none of these characters are literally the same character than what they used to be previously. And yeah, so that's about it. That's it for Matches Malone, huh? We're talking about Steve Malone, District Attorney. But there's been, I'm unaware of it. There's been no retcon and no mention of it, but there is no relation between Steve Malone, District Attorney, and Matches Malone, former deceased gangster, who is the alter ego, of Batman himself. Isn't that funny? I love comic books. We've been talking about comic books, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make daily content here. I talk about comic books every day. I'm a chef. I make cooking videos. I'm also called the Sultan of Soup. Yes, if Wes from Thinking Critical sent you, you'll get 50% off. Talk to the man. Thank you so much for tuning in. Cheers, good luck, namaste, and we will see you again in the funny pages tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.